Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress with number 49 in the series Viewers Games. This one is from Travis from Switzerland. Hi Rick, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channels. I enjoy your commentaries and I think the Viewers Games videos are great. I have a game I'd like you to analyze if the circumstances allow it. It's a game I played on March 23rd, 2017 and lost, and I'm not certain where things started to go wrong for me. Time control was 90 minutes for the first 35 moves, and at the 36th move we received 15 minutes extra for the rest of the game. I was black and I am about 1700 ELO rating, and my opponent, Christian, somewhere around 1850. The event is a mini tournament played at a local chess club. Let's look at Travis his game. As he said, he was black and Christian, his opponent, opened e4. Travis played the Caro-Kann defense, d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop f5. It's the main line of the Caro-Kann that we have on the board here. Knight g3, kicking the bishop, bishop back to g6, h4, threatening h5, cornering the bishop. So h6, knight f3, knight d7, h5, bishop back, bishop d3, all played thousands of times these moves. Bishop takes, queen takes, e6 and bishop f4. And Travis comments here that he was out of book by this point. He was out of book, but he still played the main line. He made the main line up himself. Very good, very impressive. Queen a5 check is the main move. Bishop back to d2 and then queen back to c7. Christian castled queenside, knight gf6, also still the main move, knight e4, and here the main move is castling queenside, but knight takes e4 that Travis played is also a move that has occurred a lot in Grandmaster games. Queen takes back, knight f6 kicks the queen, queen back to e2, and again the main move here is castling queenside. But Travis goes for bishop e7, knight e5, rook d8, c3, c5, the position is about equal, queen b5 check, looks dangerous but it is not. Travis simply interposes the knight and that knight is covered well enough by black's pieces. White decided to take. Queen takes, rook takes, and after 21 moves we already have an endgame on the board. Here white played d takes c5 and Travis commented that saying that I think this is the best move. If they had played bishop e3 instead, then I get a lot of queenside play after c4, and that is correct. If after bishop e3 you take on d4, then there is bishop takes d4. This is good for white, because white is attacking two pawns here and has an advantage. But after bishop e3, indeed c4 is a very good move and the game is about equal. But white took on c5 and Travis took back. f3 was played to make sure black did not take on f2. And here's an interesting moment. Travis said in his introduction that he did not know where he went wrong, and he castled kingside here, which is not wrong, but king e7 is probably a better move. We have an endgame, and in endgame the king is not as vulnerable when the queens are off, so it's okay to keep the king in the center, and it's very important in an endgame to let all your pieces play, and the king on e7 is more active than the king on g8. So even though castling kingside is not a bad move, king e7 would have been better, and this is really a completely equal position. But Travis castled, bishop f4, rook fd8, protecting the rook on d7. White traded a pair of rooks and played rook d1, and those rooks were traded as well. And here Travis comments, "This is a critical position. I have no idea how to assess positions of this nature. Is white winning? Is black winning? Are they losing? Should my king go to the center or defend the queen side? Maybe attack the pawns on the king side? Well, that is indeed very difficult and not so easy to answer. It is a equal bishop endgame, but it doesn't mean that the game will end in a draw. As I said before on my Chess to Progress channel, studying endgames is very important. You can win a lot of half or even full points if you play the endgame better than your opponent. As I said, in an endgame you want all your pieces to play, so king f8 would have been a logical move here, getting the king to the center. But another move that makes sense is f6. It is true that in bishop endgames you want, if possible, your pawns on the other color than your bishop. So because black has a dark squared bishop, you really would like your pawns to be on light squares, so that the bishop has a lot of room to maneuver. But in this case, because there's always exceptions to it, in this case it might be better to play f6 and then followed by e5 and then bring the king to e6. That might be a way to keep the balance in this position. But as I said, king f8 is also a good move to start. But Travis played f5. Now these pawns on f5 and e6 are on light squares, which is good because we have a dark squared bishop. But it will be more difficult to activate the black king. And the white king is more active, as we'll see. King e2, king f7, and now bishop e5. And that keeps an eye on the g7 pawn, so Travis decides to play that pawn up. g6, that pawn was taken. The king is taking back, and now the black king is far removed from the center. The white king is on d3, and this is a better position for white. Easier to play and better position for white. White's king is a lot more active than black's king, and that's a big factor in this position. Travis played h5, b4, kicking the bishop, and the bishop went to g1. b5, king f7. Travis wants to bring his king over to the danger side. The danger side here is of course where white has a majority. The queen side, he has 3 pawns there, while black only has 2 pawns. But here comes bishop d4, and that's a very good move. Travis comments that if he had taken on d4, and then king takes d4, king f6, he said, I saw I had no counterplay and white will just push their pawns on the queen side. And that is true. This is probably a winning king and pawn endgame for white. But the alternative is not much better, because of course white is attacking the a7 pawn, and if you don't want to swap the bishops, and actually bishop h2 was played here by Travis, you just lose a pawn, and this is a lost bishop ending now. Not only the white's king is better than black's king, also his bishop is a lot more active than black's bishop, which is not doing anything at the moment on h2. e5 from Travis, a4, king e6, c4, king d7, bishop b6, king c8, and a5. And Travis called it a day here. He resigned. This is indeed a very easily winning endgame now for white. For example, if he plays bishop g3 to try and activate that bishop, there is c5. To show you one variation, bishop f2, c6, attacking the bishop on f2. If you take on b6, a takes, and for example you can take on c6, but after b takes c6, white is easily winning. White has 2 connected pass pawns on the 6th rank, and black will not be able to make a pass pawn himself. There's nothing to play for here. So back to Travis' question, where did he go wrong? Well, he didn't do a lot wrong. He played the opening and the middle game very well, but in the end game, probably king e7 instead of castling kingside would have been easier. And then, after all rooks were swapped, he probably should have gone for the f6 and e5 setup, bringing the king to e6, and that position, although slightly better for white, should be holdable for black. The way it went in the game, white's king was stronger than black's king, and white's bishop was dominating black's bishop as well. And even though material is equal and a lot of material had gone off the board, we only had bishops and pawns left. Those factors were enough for white to smoothly win this game. Thank you very much, Travis. You played a great game. You invented the theory yourself after you were out of book. You played the main line for a very long time, and it was only in the end game that you went wrong. Thanks for sending in this game, and well played. Hope you enjoyed Travis' adventure in this game. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Progress channel. Please leave a comment, and if you liked it, please share the video on social media. You also may want to check out my Chess to Impress channel. I just posted a video on Magnus Carlsen's double blunder in the 2017 London Chess Classic. Hope you can check it out. This is Rick from Chess to Progress. Thank you for watching.